Hi everybody, welcome to Healing with Marcus, this message to humanity. We're all sitting with that inner messaging coming through. You have access to the deeper parts of yourself, just like I do. One of the differences could be that the more time you spend getting to know your inner territory, getting to know the world both inside of you and outside of you, and not in the way of reading books, not in the way of getting degrees, but in the way of what's your innate intelligence. What does your spirit tell you? What comes through for you? So, today, this message is about why is it that it plays an important role that you heal yourself? Why is it that the message that one of our great teachers is, of course, the Spirit of Jesus, right? Jesus himself was an amazing teacher, an amazing healer. Regardless of how that's been followed, the message and the energy he brought to our planet was amazing. And there are, of course, many other healers of great standing on our planet too. But one of the things that came through was to create heaven on earth. Why is that an important part? Why is it that we find why does that resonate deeply? And what is it about that makes sense? So, when we look at the way that all the different planets are aligning and the gravitational forces are pulling on our planet and on each other, right? Because everything in our universe is connected. If you are new to your spiritual journey, you may not want to believe this at all, and you know, but you still have experienced many times when you think of somebody and they call you a moment later. You still have experienced all these synchronicities in your life that seemingly they seem too good to be true. And you know, I mean, how many times have you not, either you have experienced it or heard of people who travel to the other side of the world or travel somewhere far away, and they run into their neighbor. They run into somebody that they never thought they would meet in that space. It happens far too often for those incidents to be coincidences. So as we start diving into what we could refer to as the quantum field, but also the energetic frequencies that are running on our planet, we start to realize and recognize that there's a whole world of awareness outside of our limited perception. And some of that you pick up through your field, through your energy body. And when we look at what they refer to as the chakra system, when you look at the root chakra, so root chakra is the bottom chakra around the genitals and the butt area and the lower spine. You have your sacral chakra, it's just below your belly button. And then you have your solar plexus, which is in the middle, like where your chest comes together, right? This solar plexus. You have your heart chakra, which some people say is in the center. I usually work on it over the actual heart. And then we have our throat chakra, and then we have third eye, and then we have the crown chakra. Crown is straight up, third eye is in the middle of your forehead, a few inches behind. When we look at this energy system, and as we begin to heal these different parts of our system, and we begin to activate and balance the different parts of the chakras, you start to have different experiences. One of them is to ground deeply into Earth Mother through the root chakra, to envision growing roots, to gain more power, to gain more energy, to gain more support from life itself. And as we feel this life force energy rising up inside of us, we also start to feel the sacral chakra activating. And in the sacral chakra, so root chakra is all about stability and a groundedness, anchoredness into earth. We have sacral chakra, which is the self-worth, self-love, and where your self lives. Come up to the solar plexus, it's more about willpower, self-will, and when things don't go the way you wanted, it might really take a toll on our solar plexus. Heart has an intelligence of its own because of all the cells that are together and they're entrained with each other, so they develop an intelligence by themselves. Just like our energy system, the energy of your heart is the meeting of the lower three chakras and the upper three chakras. We can refer to the upper three as heaven and the lower three as earth. They come together in heart and they come in unison there. This is why many ancient teachings and many, what I refer to as like real teachings, teach about following your heart. They talk about open your heart, listen to your heart, right? And it's also why it hurts so much sometimes in the heart area if relationships fall apart. It can be very painful in the heart. Because the heart knows more than the mind. The mind is very limited in its logical thinking ways. And it's active. It usually looks back on lessons we have had before, and then we try to not repeat the same mistakes. Now that can easily build up walls around us of ego and of fear, so we don't have to make the same mistakes, but often we get stuck. We get sucked back into a frame that is hard to step out of. This is why heart is much more malleable, much more coherent, much more fluid, much more, it can kind of almost see around the corner. Which is why when you listen to your heart, when you follow your intuition, speaking through you, through your body, and through the crown chakra as well, you start to actually have a different experience of life. Now, and then we have throat chakra, which is sort of where you can express your truth. Your truth lives in your heart, right? And if you learn how to express that truth, your throat chakra will open up. And when we're always afraid or we're not allowing ourselves to speak our truth, we block our throat chakra. Then we come up to the third eye, which is your ability to see truth. It's your ability to see somebody and you say, hi, how are you? And they don't look that well, but they say they're doing great. And you pick up on things. There's a lot of intuitiveness in your third eye. You also, when you start opening it up and you start connecting with the third eye, you can gain a lot of vision. Like you see a lot of things that you didn't pick up on before. And you see things in the realm of the unseen, which we don't really know how we pick up on with our regular eyes, but we pick up with our third eye. Then the crown chakra is our intuitive knowingness, our connection to the universe, our sense of oneness. When the crown chakra opens up, we have experiences of much higher vibrational fields. We experience the higher self. We experience a connectedness to the universe. And often, they don't always open up at the same time. There can be times when the crown will be very open, but the rest of them will be locked down. Or there could be times when the lower chakras are very active, but not the upper chakras. So learning how to live a balanced life with our chakra system in balance is very important for a raising of our frequency. As we go through healing those chakras and we start activating the centers of energy, your body energy starts to gain more momentum, especially when we root ourselves. As your body energy gains more momentum, you raise your inner vibration. This starts to give you more insights. You become more aware, both of what you're feeling, because one of the big parts of this journey is to actually breathe into your body and feel it. But another part is to listen to the intuition that comes to you, your intuitive thoughts that come to you. So here's today's, now this was a long way to get there, but I wanted to address why we need to address, how we and why we raise our inner vibration. So we raise our inner vibration. As you raise your vibration, you access new levels of awareness. You access new knowings. And we start to understand. the unified field of awareness that circumvents our world and that actually is connected to the rest of the universe as well. And we can also start to understand when these different planetary alignments affect, how they affect us, why they affect us, why a solar storm flare will make us feel tired or make us feel different feelings and experiences that we didn't have before. We start to see the connections. We start to realize more and more how we are energetic beings. And yes, we have a physicality as well, but the energy that surrounds us, that's invisible to the naked eye most of the time, this energy actually affects us much deeper than we think. This is who you really are. Your energy field that is both inside of you and reaches outside of you is who you really are. The physical body is just a vessel, a way to anchor into this planet, anchor into this life at this moment. So when we come into that space and we realize, so different planets are affecting us somewhat heavily at times. Is it really that far-fetched? Here's the message. Is it really that far-fetched to think that our vibration on the planet Earth also is affecting, leaving an imprint, echoing, resonating out into space, out into the different other planets? Right? So, and if that's the case, if the case is that, because if the case is that those planets are affecting us, where the moon is pulling all the water on the planet and how we feel, and many other things that are going on with other different planets are affecting us, is it really that far-fetched to realize that we are also affecting them? And the vibratory state of our Earth is affecting out into the universe as well, echoing out. And as long as we stay in both what they call 3D matrix, which is a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, a lot of fear, very, very fear-based, we are staying at a very base vibration. It's a heavy vibration. It's almost like if you feel yourself, feel into being happy. You feel into, what does it feel like walking out on that field barefoot in the sun with beautiful flowers all around, and there's just a wind blowing in the trees and everything is just beautiful. Or you're on the beach, you go into the ocean and the water is warm and you just feel that sense of joy. You can feel that lightness in that. I can feel the lightness in my being when I feel those happy thoughts. And vice versa, when you think of something heavy, either we can get heavier from our sadness, but we can also sometimes get heavier from anger, from negativity. And sometimes anger can be a helpful tool. No feelings are bad in themselves. Inherently, they're not bad at all. But if we are stuck in a cycle, a cyclical way of feeling and thinking about anger, for example, where we get angry all the time, where I think that everything that people are saying is about me, where when I walk out there and people are looking over my way, I'm like, what are you looking at? If I get that way, I have a high charge of anger and negativity in my system. And if you think about that feeling, think about when you're stubborn about something. Think about when you're really angry about something. Do you feel the heaviness in that? Do you feel the weight? So here's the difference, right? When we step into a state of feeling that joy of life, we feel lighter. It's like we feel lifted up. We feel filled up with light and energy and spirit. And when we're heavy and we're downtrodden and we owe money to everybody and we're in a depressed state because somebody didn't want to be in a relationship with us, or whatever it might be, right? It's heavy, heavy. We can feel that weight inside of our system. That weight keeps us in a low vibratory state. This is why when we're meditating, we start to look into what's active in my system right now. And how do I shift into, not bypassing, But how can I access gratitude? How can I access love? How can I access light inside of my system that can help to move some of the heaviness? Because here's the conundrum, right? Or the trick, right? So as you start to feel that gratitude just to be alive, the gratitude of just feeling yourselves being alive, we get lighter. Your vibration shifts. How you're impacting the field around you shifts. How your neighbors feel might just shift. Because we are swimming in an ocean of energy without knowing it. For us, the air feels natural. It feels like, well, that's just air, it's empty. Well, if you ask the fish, it probably feels the same way about the ocean. And if you were an alien coming into the planet, when you dip your foot into the atmosphere, or however you do it, you dip into the atmosphere, it may feel like the atmosphere of Earth is just as wet as the ocean. I don't know how they will experience it, but I do know that there is a difference in density and in, you know, how the molecules are all put together. And so air carries a certain mixture of all the molecules, and then you go into the water, and that's a higher density, but almost the same. Almost, there's a little bit less oxygen in the ocean, but there's other things instead, right? But it's not that different. So if you came from outer space, you may not even feel it that different. So the point is that we don't know, we don't recognize these streams of energy that's around us all the time. But if you have a tub of water and you drag your hand through it, you can see how the water spins and how you created currents with your hand. And we can see that in the ocean too. We see how the water spins in the ocean from different movements. But because the air is our element, our natural born element, we often don't recognize that this too has energetic flows. That air also spins with energy. Not just the molecules, but actual energy. And that we, human beings, are energetic beings. I mean, all animals, everything on our planet is energetic beings. We happen to be in this form. In this reincarnation, we happen to be in this form. And as we learn to recognize that our vibration gets higher and higher, we start to affect the whole field. And as we affect the whole field, over time, the vibration of Earth starts to shift. This is why some teachers talk about creating heaven on earth. Because as we do create heaven on earth, we create balance, the yin and the yang, a complete balance between the light and the dark, between the yin and the yang. When that balance is in place, there's peace and tranquility. And it doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't mean subduance. It doesn't mean that we're supposed to subdue to anything. It means that we are in balance. And as we are, the vibration of Earth and the vibration of the impact we have on the rest of the universe around us also changes. This is why it's important for humanity to have an awakening, to begin to rise into our higher vibratory fields. It's very important, and I believe it's much more important than we know. I believe that we have an impact on the universe in ways that we have no idea about yet. Spiritual teachers do, spiritual teachings know, but many people in the 3D reality, we don't know yet. Because we can only see as far as our nose, basically. We don't see further into the field. But if you begin to watch the field, you begin to sit with it, you begin to feel into it, you may see that we're creating a future with our vibration. And as we get lighter and lighter in our vibration, we're creating a different future. We're shifting timelines. It's a beautiful experience. So that's it for today. Thank you for being here. I'm so grateful you are on this talk. So grateful that you're on this journey. Keep an eye out for more videos. Click like and subscribe. Press that little notification button so you find out. I don't post too many videos, I hope. Once or twice a week. Go live every Monday night at 7 p.m. on Pacific Standard Time. So, this was about raising our vibration and how the earth impacts the rest of the universe. Have a lovely, beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon. Namaste and aho.